Hi everyone. This video is going to be a little bit about the week one reading, how to navigate it, and how to approach the discussions in this class. So this is the first thing is that all of the readings in this class, there is no textbook. So these are open access readings for all of you. And you can use books if you want. I prefer books, but I'm sure you want to save money. And so this is the link to the version that we're going to use for this class. It's online, and if you can find this link in the discussion forum itself and also in the announcements. And so one question I had from a student once was, what do you mean you have to read the first 10 books? Well, the Odyssey here is, think of books as chapters. So I think the Odyssey total, I'm not sure how many chapters it has. I think like in the high 20s are books. And so you can see here it says book 1, Athena visits Ithaca. Well, as you're reading, you read, and it starts out with the gods all talking to each other about things and all the problems going on. Okay, book 2. I'm at book 2. So book 2 is called Telemachus Prepares for His Voyage. So you need to read the first 10 books. That's the way that I'm running this class. If this video is given to other people, they might have you read a different amount, more, maybe less. But I think, I just have everybody read the first 10 books. There's more than enough to get people started in the first 10 books. So, and again, just think of books as chapters. So the first 10 chapters, but I use the term book because that's the technical way. And also, just so that you don't get confused as you're going through this. Okay, so that's the logistics. Now, how do I want you to go about reading this? Well, I'm big on slow reading, and I would much rather have you read slowly, process, take some time to reflect on things that you find meaningful, and then talk about the things that you find meaningful, instead of thinking like, okay, I need to read all 10 books, so I'm just going to do it as quickly as possible. I've got the music on, I've got the Real Housewives of whatever on, and I'm not paying attention. My kid is yelling in the corner, but I'm just going to blast through it. I'm not going to remember anything because that's the way that I've been taught to read. No. Read slowly. I know some people say, well, music helps me or having the TV on helps. No, it doesn't. Now, certain types of music, so you can use like any type of music that doesn't have words. So I would recommend, if you like having music, use like classical, or I like ambient music. So try to find music that, that's harmonious, that's enjoyable to you, but that doesn't have words or language in it. Because obviously, like, if somebody's talking to you while you're reading, that does not help you in your acquisition of knowledge. And then, how do I want you to approach the discussion? Well, I will show you. So within the first couple, what would have been pages, I find one of the most meaningful quotes for me in the entire Odyssey. And it's right at the beginning. And it's Zeus is addressing all the gods. And he's thinking about Aegisthus, who was killed by Orestes, who was the son of Agamemnon. And you might be thinking, like, I don't know any of this, and this is all confusing, these names. But don't worry, because in week 2, you're going to actually learn about Aegisthus, Agamemnon, and Orestes. So we've connected all of these things. And you're going to find out that Clytemnestra, Agamemnon's wife, and Aegisthus planned something really bad. They acted on it. And then that leads to a whole series of plays written by Aeschylus that talk about the outcomes of those actions. And that's actually related here, Orestes, Aegisthus, and Agamemnon. But Zeus is thinking about this, and he says to the gods, it's disgraceful how humans blame the gods. They say their tribulations come from us, when they themselves, through their own foolishness, bring hardships which are not decreed by fate. Now there's Aegisthus, who took for himself the wife of Agamemnon, son of Atreus, and then butchered him. Once the man came home. That was not set by fate. Aegisthus knew his acts would bring about his total ruin, so he is paid for everything in full. Okay, so so why do you like this, Justin? Well, so we find out here that Aegisthus killed Agamemnon. He did that with Agamemnon's wife, Clytemnestra, and which is really bad, right? But what Zeus doesn't talk about here, that you'll find out when you read Agamemnon, is that Agamemnon, in order to go search for Helen, sacrificed one of his own daughters to get the winds to pick up so that they could travel to Troy. So not a great dude, sacrificed his daughter. But anyway, why do I like this? Well, it says, it's disgraceful how humans blame the gods. They say their tribulations come from us, when they themselves, through their own foolishness, bring hardships that are not decreed by fate. And then Zeus gives an example. The reason why I like this is because what we have here is an explanation from something written, let's say 3,000 years ago, maybe longer, well, a little bit less, but of the problem of evil, right? So humans on Earth, what it's saying is that humans blame the gods, right? They blame the gods when bad things happen. And instead, what Zeus is saying is that no, it's the fault of the humans, and they just don't realize it. It's because they're foolish and they do things and they covet each other and all of these things. And that's why I like it. And so in my discussion, I would talk about that. I would talk about how I don't know whether or not God exists. And if God does exist, why do bad things happen to people? Is it humans' fault? If it's humanity's fault, but then the gods don't intervene, then what does that say about the gods? Anyway, you can see where I'm going with this, right? I could easily spend the entire discussion just talking about this. Now, I want you to read all 10 books, and you should read all 10 books. But when you come across something that you care about, or that you think that makes you think in this way, what I want you to do is to write about it, and to think through it, and to engage with it. And so anyway, I wanted to give that example. And it's something that we can think about too as we approach this discussion. I know that the theme is home and what it means to be at home, but we can talk a lot about, because the ancient Greek conception is we have Zeus here saying that there's so many bad things that happen to humans that are caused by them, right? But then throughout the entire Odyssey, we see Athena, who speaks right after this. We see Athena intervening to help Odysseus at multiple points. We see Poseidon trying to destroy Odysseus and his men because they blinded the Cyclops, Polyphemus, who is the son of Poseidon. And then Poseidon basically tries to totally prevent Odysseus from getting home, tries to kill him. Ultimately kills everybody except Odysseus. Only Odysseus makes it back. So all of his crew die, which, by the way, we have a lot of military people here. We don't need to get too far into this if people don't feel comfortable. But arguably, Odyssey first recorded explanation of post-traumatic stress disorder. There are multiple times in the Odyssey where all the men, because remember, they're all soldiers, right? They're trying to get back to Ithaca after they went and fought the battle at Troy. And there are multiple times where they're remembering the dead comrades, fallen comrades, and they start weeping, right? And they start expressing these really full forms of emotion. And yeah, I mean, this is a representation of what they went through. And they went through the same things that our soldiers go through today, the same things that the soldiers went through in World War I and World War II. These are not new phenomenon, right? These are things that everyone has experienced. Now, again, we don't have to go there, but if that has meaning to you, then maybe you want to talk about it. I've had students talk about that in the past. So anyway, I hope that provides a little bit of context and some explanation of how I want you to approach the discussions. I don't want you to try to read all 10 books and then write something. And I definitely don't want you to, instead of reading, go to some website and say, the Odyssey was written by Homer. Homer did Homer exist? I don't know. You know, like all of these like very just generic websites. It's pretty easy to see when students do that. What I want you to do is use the quotes and talk about these specific passages, relate them to your life, and that's the real way that you're going to learn. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to help.